What up, dude? So I want to introduce you to a client I just got, Junior Ramirez. Junior's opening assessment was super impressive. So got mound velos 95, long toss 375 to 400, pull downs 101, and the dude obviously is an absolute stud. So I love taking cases like this, obviously, because anytime that someone reaches out saying they want help with their delivery, they think there's more in the tank, that fires me up. But this I wanted to preview for you guys because it's a super interesting and quite fun. I even was texting Junior back and forth and talking about how it's going to be quite fun for both of us. So he's been struggling trying to utilize his legs and his lower half, and me kind of screening his mechanics. I'll show you guys here. It's different, right? Because you look at Junior, you see his power output, and you say, okay, this guy's got a lightning arm. Something he's doing in his delivery is exceptionally well, right? So you see that right off the bat with this arm motion, right? So he creates a ton of separation, a ton of rotational energy, a ton of torque, and he's able to throw hard because of that reason, right? He does that exceptionally well. That's what makes Junior Junior. Okay, so that's what makes him good. Now it's about optimizing the rest of the moving parts. So you see right in this breakdown, early case of early heel disconnection, right? And then as he kind of descends down the mound, you'll see that drive leg extends, almost jumping off the mound. This is a really good angle of it as well, where you see kind of the motion of his hips, right? Instead of sinking down and maximizing the ground production and staying connected, he almost jumps. Those hips kind of raise right off the bat right there, right? So it's funny because my original screen, my original analysis was when I sent it back to him, I said, dude, you got to increase your movement capacity, right? Like you got to train your body to have more potential movement, either whether it be like the drive leg, the hips, something there is off, right? Hip internal rotation, just overall hip movement capacity. Your body is telling you, hey, we don't have that, so therefore we need to compensate by extending that leg to where we can land and we can be comfortable, right? The body's going to organize itself and protect against itself any which way. So I send all this back to him, and he goes, dude, I agree with everything, but one thing I don't agree with, and that's the capacity. So you'll see here, he sends me a video of his 90-90 ER/IR, and dude's right. He's got full, range of motion. Really, that's an exceptionally well 90-90, a little bit of instability there, but you look at anyone, right, and they're not going to be able to do that. So it's about, okay, dude, now technically this is, like I said, it gets fun because now it's about throwing stuff up against the wall, seeing if it sticks. Like I said, for some reason, his body is telling itself that, hey, we're protecting, we can't drive. Junior told me over and over again, he's been trying to use his legs. He doesn't know why this is happening. For some reason, his motor control patterns are of this way. Like I said, I think most of the time it's for protecting against injury, right? You see it even in his long toss, where usually we see, the stability issue or whatever it is clean up, right? And that drive leg becomes more efficient. But you even see it in his long toss, right? With that trail leg kind of jumps, right? And jumps off. So like I told Junior, I was like, dude, this is going to be kind of fun because it's about incorporating the right drill, the right tool, the right modification for the right individual, for the right athlete. Everyone's going to have different, sensory inputs and different feedbacks for each thing. So I gave him, a new updated list of drill progressions and things that we can do to provide that feedback, right? Because for some reason, his body is moving this way. His motor control patterns are of what you guys are seeing, and it's not for lack of movement or strength capacity. It's just simply his motor control patterns, his brain telling his body, hey, this is how we're going to move when we throw a baseball. So with the updated drill progression, we already saw, I gave him, I said, hey man, let's do a very simple, reverse lunge into throw and really just feel ground connection, right? Simple cue. We don't want to overload the brain, trying to think about so many different things, because even as Junior and I talked about, it's frustrating because we can get in our head and we can start overanalyzing every single thing. And I said, hey, do a simple drill, this reverse lunge throwing drill. I've talked about this a lot, and just feel ground connection and hold ground connection for as long as you can. and let's see what that hip movement and see what that does. Because I think, again, it's about implementing the right drill, the right tool, the right, modification or whatever it is for the right athlete and his needs. And just from this drill and just for that simple cue, you're seeing here that he's now increasing his sensory input into the ground with that foot connection. Now I told him in the breakdown video of this drill, when I gave it to him, was like, hey, keep playing with those hips, especially on flat ground, right? We saw earlier with his hips, they tend to kind of rise, right? They rise because of that drive leg kind of getting elongated and pushing off the mound. So that's why I said, hey, keep that posture, keep that plane, and then just drive. So you'll see it here in this throwing drill. Boom. So showcases the ability to move that way, right? So now it's interesting because now it's just about instilling that motor control pattern, right? It's not just about, okay, do 1-2 drills, 3 sets of 8, and then go and throw. No, it's like we have to hammer these repetitions. We have to hammer these motor control patterns, find that window of solid opportunity when we're moving efficiently and maximizing things that we need to maximize throughout our delivery, and then really sticking to that, right? So just right off the bat, you see the general posture is a lot better. The internal rotation of the hip timed up with the arm is a lot better. Overall connection of everything is a lot better. And you see complete, mechanical efficiency just based off of what was like a 3-hour window with Junior. So, again, it's about not completely overhauling what he does because he throws 95, throws freaking hard. It's about optimizing the other moving parts, right? So, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward and instilling those motor control patterns. Intentionality, right? Like, gotta be intentional with all of this stuff, especially when it comes to instilling these new patterns, because it doesn't happen overnight. But super stoked for Junior. But that's a really good example of, I talk about how capacity plays a huge role in the delivery. So that was the first thing that came to my mind, was like, dude, we got to increase this capacity. You're not moving right. So it's interesting to see, him come back with this and kind of just got to readjust, right? And repattern and reprogram to see what works. In a sense, it's almost like, okay, in that case, here's this and this and this, here's XYZ, throw it up against a wall, see if it sticks. If it sticks, dude, there's our window, right? Let's hammer it. So it's really cool to see. Pumped for Junior. No, it won't surprise me at all he comes back and he's 100 off the bump, because there's definitely more to be had with the utilization of his lower half a little bit better and the sequencing of it. So cool. All right, if you guys are interested, sign up for your analysis. Get this good. We'll see you guys.